Hi everyone, welcome back to the cocktail vlog. I'm Steve the bartender, and today I'm going to show you how to make maraschino cherries. Now before I get started, these technically aren't maraschino cherries because you need a particular type of cherry, but these are maraschino flavored cherries, if that makes sense. Maraschino Liqueur is made with Marasca cherries. Marasca are in the same family, or it's in the family of Morello cherries, which is a sour cherry. These are Morellos. This is made with Marasca cherries, which is also a type of Morello. So what you want to do, these are sour cherries. They're going to be the ones that work best. You've got a syrup in there, which is really quite sweet. It's got a lot of sugar in there, and that's kind of going to balance out the sourness, the acidity from the cherry itself with the sugar in the syrup. If you want to, for this example, just for the sake of the video, because this is the last of the season for cherries in Adelaide, I've went and picked up some sweet cherries. So you can do it with sweet, but just keep in mind it's going to be very sweet. Now you want to start off with, in this case, I'm just doing a single jar, which is roughly about 150 grams. So I'm going to transfer the cherries into the jar, and there's many different ways to make the maraschino cherries, but this is just like a run and gun, quick version. You're not going to get a huge shelf life out of these. I have made maraschino cherries in the past, and I still have them from 3 years ago, and they've lasted because I heated them in part of the process for a longer period, for an extended period, to extend their shelf life, to kill off any bacteria off the fruit itself. If you want to, you can de-stem them, or you can keep the stem on there. These cherries are quite large, so I'm not really fitting too many in this jar. You can pit them as well. I didn't pit these Morello cherries here. Reason being was because it was the very end of the season and the cherries were a little bit soft. So you want to make sure you get nice firm cherries, and they'll last and retain their shape really well. Now, a couple of pointers. If you like, you can add a little bit of citric acid through lemon juice into your syrup, and that'll help retain the flavor. The cherries won't go brown. And make sure you use a simple syrup, a hot simple syrup of 1:1, not a 2:1 simple syrup or a 2:1 rich syrup, because it has too much sugar in comparison to the cherry, and it will actually pull out the juice of the cherry, and the cherry will shrink or will go all wrinkly. So 1:1 simple syrup is what we need. I'm going to pour it in over the top, nice and hot, so therefore it kills off some of that bacteria, and it will give us a reasonable shelf life. So I've got hot simple syrup, and I'm going to pour that over the cherries. I'm going to pour in roughly about 75 ml. So it's not going to be completely to the top, because I'm going to save some space for some brandy and some liqueur. And of course, with this simple syrup, if you want to, you can add some extra spices and flavors. If you like, you can add cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, and it's just going to add a more depth to that syrup that is in here. And you can also extend the shelf life. As I said before, this is kind of a run and gun approach to preserving your cherries. I'm going to estimate that the cherries will last 2 or 3 months. If you want it to last 12 months or longer, then I'd heat the cherries on the stovetop in the syrup, or I'd do it this way, and then I'd preserve the jar by enclosing it and heating the jar for a little bit longer than just a minute or two like I'm doing now. So I'm going to flavor it with maraschino liqueur. Add 30 ml, 1 ounce, and likewise with the brandy, 1 ounce, 30 ml, which is gonna get right to the very top. Extremely fine, that's exactly how I wanted it. Doing it this way, there's not a lot of color with the syrup at the moment, but give it a couple of weeks. And as you can see with these ones, the color leaches from the cherries into the syrup itself, and it makes a delicious cherry liqueur. Given the fact that you've got the maraschino liqueur, the brandy, and the simple syrup, that's going to be sitting about 20-25%. So make sure you don't waste that once you finish off the cherries. Use it for Singapore sling. So there you have a quick and easy way to preserve and extend the shelf life of your cherries and make a delicious cherry liqueur in the process. Make sure you keep it in the fridge, and it should keep for 2 or 3 months. Thanks for watching. I'll see you soon for another cocktail video. Cheers.